What is going on, everybody? Podcast arc, episode number 8, 9. We're getting to a
Right.
point, Spencer, where I'm losing track, and it's largely because we unfortunately we missed an episode last week due to some circumstances. We were both
And
very
then we
busy.
have a
Holidays
lost
are hard.
episode, so
We have a lost episode. Yeah, we literally record. That's right. I forgot about that. We recorded that episode and the audio was all broken. Plus the
that's a
missed
shame.
week here. Yeah, so we're probably like we've probably recorded 11 or 12 episodes. Some have just never seen the light of day, and we're still working on dialing up like the audio and stuff. And I think this is going to be the best of the audio we've done thus
Oh
far,
yeah,
which is cool.
we've done enough tuning this time.
Yeah. And it's going to get better. They actually I was at work earlier today, and I saw they have a new podcast like setup kit. Comes with a
Oh
nice
really?
mic and all that stuff. So I might explore that. I mean, it's expensive, but I want to see like what goes into all that. But anyway, though, it's not like a Yeti. It looks like a. It's obviously not like a Go XLR. It's not like a nice mic, but it looks like a nicer
Gotcha.
mic. So who knows what kind of quality is possible. But anyway, podcast arc talking anime, and this episode we're talking about a lot of things. The key things in this episode, me and Spencer have decided when there's not much content, we do want to still make episodes, right? Like I know people will hear that go, oh, there's tons of content. My first experience as a pink ball of fur just came out on dub. I'm like
I've been
in yeah,
reincarnated as a slime for the 20th time.
yeah. I this isekai that no one's heard of just came out with its eighth season. I'm like, I listen, guys. Me and Spencer, we watch the mainstream stuff. I'm gonna just say it that way.
And if
You
not,
might
just the
catch
main
me,
shonens.
yeah, right. And while it is largely the main shonens, we do both stray off the beaten path. My list has got some older stuff. I know his list has some older stuff, but largely, like I think if you look at my list, everything on my list was either written or came out in the 2000s to 20 teens to 2020s. Like that's my list. I don't have any of the OG stuff like from the back in the day, maybe except for Dragon Ball. And a lot of it's from like the last 4 or 5 years, largely. So understand like our podcast is modern anime, modern shonen. There might be some stuff that we will touch on later when we run out of content, but
Like I'll be honest,
that's
I've
kind of what
never
we
even
yeah.
seen Akira all the way through and stuff like that.
I don't even. Oh, that's the Akira slide. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
so much stuff like that that's just totally outside of like my realm of even like functional understanding of anime. I'd like to get into some of that stuff later at some point, but there's so much to watch right now. I'm almost inundated. Like I still want to watch Free Run, and I just haven't had the time because every time I turn around, something else comes out that I'm trying to catch up on. I'm still trying to catch up on One Piece. I'm still reading Bleach. Dantadan's week. I haven't read any of my chapters this week. I haven't read JJK3. I haven't read Dantadan. I haven't read
Gachiakta season 2 or
Gachi
second part of
Akata.
season 1.
There's 3 episodes of Gachi that I haven't caught up on. There's so much to watch right now. So what I'll probably end up doing is when I have a free day, with these holidays coming up, I'll probably catch up on all of the stuff that I'm already currently watching, and then maybe on like my wife works Christmas Day. That might just be a day where I bundle up with some hot cocoa and just binge something. So we'll
Yeah,
see.
that might be the
But
move.
yeah, the lists that we have are pretty. I'll say they're mainstream, but I know that we're gonna have some differing takes from a lot of people because when I posted my TikTok about my top 5 anime protagonists, people wanted to fry me, and I was like, no, I'm not having it. I'm right. So what I meant to say with all this is to say that we're doing a series of episodes where we're going to be talking about our top fives of this, of that, of the other thing, and looking forward to that because it's going to bring up some spirited debate between Spencer and I. Because I know that we do have largely differing opinions, specifically on protagonists. I would think, although I'll be surprised if our lists are similar. But I wanted to kick off the episode with some My Hero glaze, if you'll indulge me.
Oh
I
yeah,
watched the
gotta love this
first
season.
watched the first 2 episodes of season 8. Oh my god, they're cooking. Like I hate to always like go back like oh Mappa like it's level animation. This season from Bones is Mappa level animation. Genuinely. Like they are absolutely cooking with some of these moments. Even and just like I'm not even talking about some people will say like oh you're a pretty lights idiot. You just want to watch all the flashes and colors. Yeah, dog, I have a really expensive TV where I want to see some high contrast and some
I
pretty
want to see
color.
as much detail as possible.
Yeah. But on top of that, the choreography has been really cool and it's been very emotional. And there's been a lot of great music. And the intro to the season and the outro to the season are tear jerkers. The outro specifically, will bring me to tears. Season 8's very, very good. So much so that I've had to rework my anime list to adjust for it. Season 8, I think, is going to be like a crystal crowned jewel of a shonen anime for a long time to come. And I think it's going to boost My Hero in a lot of people's rankings. So I wanted to just follow up with you. I know you're in season 6. Where are you at?
So I'm still pretty semi at Dark Deku versus Class A. I did kind
You
of want to
weren't
go
there
over.
last time, were you? That was 2 weeks ago.
No, I think I was like halfway through the second part of season 6, like before that.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
But
Because we I remember us talking about, and I asked you about something, and you're like, "Well, that's already happened." Yeah, you've moved a lot further than there. Okay, so you have watched a lot since our last episode. What are you thinking about this? I know you like the Vigilante arc. We've talked about that. You like the Deku Vigilante arc?
I do. I think it is peak Deku out of what up until where he is at in the show so far. I
Wait
think this
till
is really
you
like
see Gear Shift.
I think this is like the start of his like coming into his own because I feel like
Yeah.
he has kind of been a generic MC up until this point.
Yes, I agree
It
largely.
does
He
it
has a
does
couple
kind of suck.
scenes, but other than that, yeah, he's been very generic up until now.
It does kind of suck knowing like how late I am now into the show and knowing that season 8 is the last of it and that he doesn't really come into his own until like the last 2.5 seasons.
Yeah, I feel like Midoriya is a vessel for the story for the first 3 seasons. Here's what I'll say. There are a couple of fights and moments for Midoriya that, in my opinion, are very much like, hey, that's why he's the main character, right? It is
Oh yeah.
the Todoroki versus Deku fight in the sports festival. It is the
Bakugo versus him
yes,
in like
Bakugo versus
the
him.
abandoned training area.
Yes, yep. There is the part where he fights Gentle Criminal, where he convinces Gentle to just turn himself in. Midoriya versus Overhaul is very, very good. Um, Obviously, his first fight against Muscular is the epitome of My Hero Academia. So there are a couple of great moments for him. There's another one that I always reference. It is when he talks to Small Might. Small Might is training, trying to avoid his inevitable death that Night Eye has predicted. And Midoriya tells him that, hey, no matter what, I'm going to ride with you and we'll beat fate together. That's another great moment for Midoriya. So while I agree to a degree, say that 5 times fast, I don't think it's 100%. Like, he definitely has his moments. And he really dominates towards the end.
Speaking of the Overhaul fight, the part 2 versus Overhaul, where Deku just unleashes this time around instead of just kind of holding back, and the indeed demolition of Overhaul.
Yes. Overhaul gets what he deserves, quite frankly. I'm not sure if you're there yet. I'm trying to think of where that happens. Where's Overhaul where you're at in the anime?
I know Deku's defeated him for the second time now, like majorly. I don't entirely remember.
It's okay. There's no spoilers for this because it has no impact on the greater story. So if you haven't seen it already, it's not going to matter. Shigaraki gets a hold of him, and Shigaraki uses decay on Overhaul's arms, so Overhaul can't use his quirk anymore.
Oh damn!
Yeah, decays his arms off, so he's now just like a torso. Ruins. I mean, and he's just mentally like ruined, like he's crushed, like he literally goes mad from losing his quirk and failing to like uphold his end of the bargain for like the or the organization he's a part of. Yeah, it's his half of the League of Villains. I forget what they're called. It has Saikai or something like that, but you know what I mean.
Gotcha.
He's mentally ruined and he loses his arms, and it's such a like. I hate to say satisfying because it's dark. It is very dark. It's very like.
But for a character like that, it is satisfying.
It reminds me of when Ramsay gets killed in Game of Thrones, where a character that I hate gets exactly what they deserve, but it's still pitiful. Where it's like, oh man, like, did you have to go that far? Right, like that's literally what happens to Overhaul in my mind. He deserves worse, frankly. I mean, he tortures Ari for years. but yeah, really, really great series of episodes that you're in right now, and it only gets better. I know that you've already seen some of the clips online, but the Bakugo versus All for One, like the beginning of that fight, so good. The way they
Oh
they
yeah,
handle the trading
the
card
animation.
stuff and All Might, it's so good. And the voice acting, I mean, Christopher Sabat, I've always said, is like one of my goats. But they all do such a great job with this season, and All
Yeah,
Might for
whoever
one
voices
is
Bakugo
great.
steps it up for like these last few episodes, or out of the clips that I've seen. I haven't gone and fully seen the episodes yet.
Bakugo is. I'm starting to, because again, I never got it. I never understood why Bakugo always won like the peak character polls. And it's partially because in the manga, I don't think his attitude comes across like the way it's intended, to me
Oh
at
really?
least. Yeah, to me, like it kind of falls flat, like his
Hmm.
vibe with the voice acting, that passion that he has, it almost does a Vegeta thing to me. Because Vegeta for me is one of my favorite characters ever. Just the way Vegeta talks, like his fire, that speech that he gives to Goku during the Tournament of Power, find a way, like that moment, that to me gives me goosebumps. Bakugo mirrors that in a lot of ways when I hear him in voice acting versus when I was reading him, I couldn't really get the tone right, and it always came off very like childish, and it doesn't come off
Okay.
that way in the anime for me. But yeah,
Oh yeah,
he's becoming one of
it's
my favorite
very
characters
much more
based
like
on that.
pure arrogance in the anime than it is. I think comes across as childish.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I agree. And that arrogance matures at the end of the show in a really great way that I think you're going to enjoy. And it's going to make the epilogue even more satisfying, which reminds me, I know you have to catch up fast because the epilogue might be my favorite couple of chapters of My Hero Academia. And people will hate on me for that because people hate the ending of My Hero Academia. Those people are stupid and wrong. That's all I'll say on
I don't
that.
understand why. Like, what else did you expect to happen? Like,
It's
what?
really
Like,
simple. Like
All for One is the
they
main villain.
didn't,
Like, once he
yeah,
gets finished, like that's the show.
they didn't understand My Hero Academia. That's all there is to it. And I've gotten in a lot of arguments on TikTok specifically in comments, Twitter too, where people are like, it's not that I didn't understand it, it's that I didn't like it. And I'm like, look, I'm not saying you have to enjoy all of these things, but I'm saying the reason you dislike it is wrong. Like you're welcome to say I don't like this because it's just not my thing. What you're not allowed to say is I don't like this because, and then supply a reason that isn't valid. That's crazy. Like Attack on
What I
Titan's always the
really,
best example. It's like
what I
people are like,
really
"Oh,
think it
yeah, I didn't
is,
get it."
what I really think it is that because it's been such a long running property, people don't want to see it then. I think
I
people
don't
have a
think it's
very
that. I
hard
think it's
time.
literally like I think it's Midoriya hate. I think because you still see people saying, "Oh, Midoriya just cries. Midoriya just cries. He was a bad main character." I'm like, you didn't watch My Hero Academia. You straight
Oh, I
up
think those
like
are people that didn't get past
pretended to
season one
watch it.
in
Yeah,
general.
you pretended to watch this, and then you saw how it ended, and you made a conclusion based on that. You didn't watch anything in between. You didn't learn anything about the side characters or the main villains or anything. You don't understand My Hero Academia, period. And so that happens so much with anime where like people are like, well, yeah, I didn't like Attack on Titan because of how it ended. Like, well, what don't you like about it? And they're like, well, I just didn't like that Aaron was a pussy. And I'm like, you don't get Attack on Titan. Like, you don't get it. Well, no, it's not that I didn't get it. It's that I just don't like that. I'm like, okay, I'm hearing you, but why don't you like it? Well, because Aaron's a pussy. I'm like, that part right there, that's what tells me that you didn't get it. So when people are like, oh yeah, Midoriya is a cuck, put the fries in the bag, I'm like, you didn't get it. You didn't get it. You didn't get it. And
For
that's
anybody that
okay that
has
you
that
didn't
opinion,
get
I
it.
have no idea how they have that. But like,
Dude, that is the majority of people you talk to online about My Hero Academia. They
those are just
don't get it.
haters. Those are just oblivious haters that didn't watch farther than
Yeah.
like
I
12
think it's
episodes in.
yeah. I think it's partially hate, but I also think it's partially like reading comprehension. Like you didn't get it.
And
You
for anybody that
simply
does just watch
read
the
this with
first
your
couple
eyes closed.
episodes, for anybody that just watches the first couple episodes, I don't blame them for having that opinion. That is very much like the beginning of the show. And I think that we can agree on that.
I I agree. Maybe if you watch the first 15 minutes of the first episode, you can have that opinion if that's what you watched. If I just showed you the first 15 minutes and you didn't see anything else, then I welcome that opinion. because that's where it's like, yeah, this kid's just crying. You don't got a quirk. It's like, go get a job, little bro. I get it. It sucks, but like that's the way. To the end of that episode, you shouldn't have that opinion because it's pure reading comprehension. Literally, like the entire point of My Hero Academia, the entire point of My Hero Academia is that even when you're powerless, you can make a significant difference. And that isn't meant to be literal, like you literally don't have powers. It's meant to be even when you don't have like vehicles or elements of control in your life or in your world or etc., you still can make a difference and an impact. That's what it's talking about. That's like the core thesis of My Hero Academia. So when Midoriya, the only person present who doesn't have a quirk, the only person present who literally can't do anything against the sludge monster man, is the only one that intervenes, it inspires the literal symbol of hope that
Yeah,
everyone on planet Earth admires to
number one
act.
hero.
It literally inspires the number one hero that everyone on planet Earth admires not only to act, but to go beyond the limits that he previously thought, I literally cannot use my powers again. I
and
can't do
and
it.
and claim his protege.
Yes, yes. He goes beyond Plus Ultra to use his powers beyond his limitations, stops the sludge monster, saves Bakugo, saves Midoriya, and in the greater zeitgeist of My Hero Academia, literally saves the world because of Midoriya's actions in season 1. It's not about Midoriya earning or not earning the powers. He never had to have powers to begin with. Midoriya's single greatest act of heroism happens in the first episode of My Hero Academia. That is what My Hero Academia is about. And that's why the ending is perfect, because it literally comes full circle to prove that to be a hero, to make a difference in someone's life, you don't need to be super powered. But by virtue of having that heroism in your heart, you can be a literal hero, which is what then happens to Midoriya. The point is that anybody can be a hero, but to be a
Great message.
literal hero that stops crime, you need to have that element of heroism, which is what Midoriya has. That's the entirety of My Hero Academia. And there's so many people that just straight up don't get it. And it's astonishing. I hate it so much, but whatever. Sorry, My Hero Academia glaze went longer than I anticipated.
Going off that opinion, I'm sure you'd say that like a lot of people that say Bakugo is the best character probably don't understand that point of the show.
I would agree with that. Yeah, I think that's why I think he appears in the character polls the most. Now, again, he does largely have a huge redemption arc at the end of the show. It comes in season 6, 7, and 8. It's awesome. It's great. But he was winning character polls in 2016 when he was like having to be handcuffed during the sports festival because he was such an asshole. Like, I think people largely don't get him as a character. I think they largely don't get My Hero Academia as an IP, and I think that largely I think it's the most disrespected anime manga of all time. Personally, I think it's the most disrespected. Like right up there with Black Clover. It's wildly disrespected.
I've seen the Black Clover hate. That I've seen. And people
Black
say it is by
Clover,
far the most mid thing ever created.
yeah. Well, that's what people say. It's not so much hate. They're just like, it's there. And I'm like, dude, if it weren't for like Naruto having a very similar like premise, Black Clover would be in everybody's top 5. And let me be clear. Oh man, Jim, this is another one. Black Clover's better than Naruto.
Oh.
Black Clover is Naruto if it was written better.
Here, let's save that. We're gonna save that for you.
I'm gonna table that,
And you
and
can expand on that.
I'm gonna table that. I'm gonna deliberately and intentionally catch up on Black Clover over the next week. That's what I'm gonna focus on. Someone told me to do it on TikTok, so I have to do that as well. And we'll revisit that next week because I do believe that, but I have to catch all the way up before I'm concrete in that answer. But anyway, the other thing we wanted to do was this top 5 list, and the one we wanted to do was top 5 protagonists. I just made my video on it on TikTok. It was one of my better videos. That was a nice edit. What did you think of my edit? Go ahead, glaze me a second.
I enjoyed it.
I found that audio and I was like, oh, I'm gonna cook with this. I thought that was such a cool audio. Anyway, gross as it was, that was pretty well made. Damn, bro. All right, just break my heart like
It's a
that.
top
Anyway,
5 edit. We're not making out here like
come on,
making
man.
theater films.
Right. Anyway, yeah. So top five protagonists. I want you to go first because I've already like produced mine. Um, let me hear yours.
Okay, so my number 1 is Yuji Itadori.
Hang on. By one, is this your number one MC?
Do we want to claim
Do
them
it.
as like
Do it. Yeah. Do it five through
this is
one.
my
Yeah.
number 1?
Yes. Yes.
Then should we start at 5 or should we
Yeah.
start at 1 then?
Start at five. Yeah.
Okay. Well, fuck. I already gave away my number 1.
That's all right. We'll talk about Yuji in a minute, which I'm surprised by. But go ahead. Count back from five.
Okay. Number 5. This might surprise you. Natsu from Fairy Tail.
Really?
Yes.
No shit. Why is that?
I think so. Like growing up and everything, with always being into like the more fantasy, like Dungeons and Dragons, like aspect of everything. This might sound really stupid and cliche, but like with his powers very much integrating into like the dragon moveset and like the transformation and everything, that was something I always like really loved. That was a part of his character and a part of the show.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you've ever seen Fairy
That's,
Tail.
I was about to say that's another thing I have to watch. I've never seen it.
I'd say the biggest character that I could relate him to would be probably like a mix between Naruto and like a more aggressive character.
Okay. Okay.
He's
So
not as
somewhere between. He's not all the way to a Bakugo, but he's not as peaceful as a
yeah,
Naruto.
he's not as happy-go-lucky, peaceful as Naruto is.
Interesting. Okay.
And I think very much within the anime and manga side of things, when it comes to writing and the visual representations, characters very much try to go one side or the other on that spectrum, or it's like you are very much like your character is set in stone as like the happy-go-lucky person, or like your character is set in stone as like the aggressive asshole. And I think he tries to find the fine line in between that, and with
Mhm.
within his story arcs. And I
Interesting.
do recommend kind of watching, at least for you, if you ever get the time, watching probably the first
It's
50
on my
episodes.
list. Yeah, it's on my list
First
of
50,
things
yep,
to
first 50
watch.
episodes of Fairy Tail. Because I never watched like the 200 to 300 episodes in, and I'll be 100% honest on that. That's something that's
Interesting.
very much been a part of my backlog for years and years, and I haven't seen Fairy Tail in years and years. But when people bring up like their top fives, and I know people do have their hate for Fairy Tail, because I think some people just think it went on for very too long, and now that I know they have their sequel property also, I think it's something like 100 Years Quest. I think that's what it's called.
I've heard of that. Yeah,
I don't know anything about it,
might be
but I
worth
know
us revisiting. Yeah.
with him still being the MC, and I think his relationships with some of the side characters are very go very very well. So that's my number 5.
Gotcha. Four.
Number 4 is going to be Guts.
Guts. Okay. How much of Berserk have you actually consumed?
I've consumed half of Volume 1.
Okay. Okay.
And I know general story beats and like his arc kind of up until where they're at right now. I've semi kept up with it, and it's rest in peace to the author of Berserk. That's one of the sadder deaths I think that we've had within the last
Yeah,
5.
that's such a huge. I don't want to say a huge property because it's not. It's not like it's obviously not a massive IP the way that like your Dragon Balls and your Naruto's are. But that's such a culturally significant story that it's like, damn, what could have been with number one like a good adaptation. I've heard that obviously some of the other ones are better than others because there's been multiple attempts at it. But man, what could have been with like a modern studio giving that all the love that it deserves, getting it really well done, and him having survived long enough to completed the work. I know his successor is still working on it, but man, that is a tragedy because that is
It
one of those
is.
stories that I feel like should kind of sit in the straddle that line of like anime, manga, and like just general fiction. So yeah, that's a good answer. Who's at 3?
My number 3 is Light Yagami from Death Note.
Wow, you are surprising me. I take it it's all like the subterfuge, the intelligence, the all that stuff.
It is, and I like the fact that out of most shonens, most animes that we watch, most media that we consume, the main character is a good person. And it
You
was a
like that he's
very
not.
I for once enjoyed that he's not.
Mm-hmm.
I and it's kind of it I am a fan of Dexter also. So kind of
It
watching
gives you that vibe.
it gives me the Dexter vibe of like watching the psychopath get to see his reign and like what would actually happen if something of that power got into a bad
Yeah.
person's hands, and
The
having the
idea
good
of
guy be
L,
the antagonist.
the idea of L being Dokes.
Oh my god, that's
Surprise,
perfect.
motherfucker.
I got you, motherfucker.
Like, get
Yeah,
your
I really
freaky
like.
ass out of here. Give
I
me the
did really like
creeps.
the turn on its hand,
Yeah,
and seeing
yeah.
where that story goes, and seeing the back and forth between L and um Light.
Like Kira. That's a good one. That is a good one. I I do appreciate what Death Note is, but after looking into it and reading on it and kind of watching a little bit of it, I've realized it's just not from it's not what I'm looking for. But I really respect that answer because I do really like that dynamic that him and L share. I can agree with that. 2?
My number 2. This you might not be surprised by. My number 2
Is it Goku?
is Goku.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's genuinely insane. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I know that
There's
like
so many MCs I would put above Goku, but I'll hear you out.
I'm sorry, but having Dragon Ball Z Kai been like the first real anime project that I ever paid attention to, and that kind of being the staple for what anime and manga was for so long in my life. And I didn't watch Z fully through. I did not watch Super fully through until I was an adult. And I think kind of picking up on those messages of determination and kind of like sticking to who you are was something I really picked up from it as an adult. So I think that's why he's my number 2.
Mhm.
And
I don't disagree. He
and
just
I'll
to
fully
me
say, dude,
seems
like
so
the
boilerplate.
aspect of like Super Saiyan, and I'm a big fan of Ultra Instinct because I kind of thought that was something more unique within transformations and move sets of MCs when it comes to shonens, and kind of going for the
Mhm.
pure instinct instead of like, hey, we're gonna make a bigger blast.
Yeah. No, I can see why you like it. I get it. I feel it, and what's the truth probably is I think he's boilerplate because he's like the blueprint for all the
Yeah,
other shonen MCs.
he
So to
is.
me, it's like, well, like so and so did it better. Well, it's like, yeah, but Henry Ford made the car, brother. Like let's calm down when we're giving disrespect to the OG. So yeah, I can see your perspective, but you have UG at 1. Why is that?
With JJK being my favorite anime and manga property, I kind of I for once really got to see a character like actually suffer
Hmm.
and see like what that does to a character, and kind of like seeing the like having to bear his cross of having Sukuna like inside of him, and having to go through this mission knowing the what might be the eventual outcome. But while that is all going on, he knows in the back of his mind that like his real goal is just to help and save as many people as he can. And I think that that message from his grandpa, like what with it being episode 1, or is that
Yeah, it's
chapter 1?
1. That's yeah, it's chapter 1, episode 1. It's pretty much it's very
Okay.
beginning. Other than Zero, obviously.
I think that's a good mantra and a good message for an MC to have. Is just like just help as many people as you can.
It's crazy because there's a ton
whether it
of
be
people
how
that
you
wouldn't
do it.
even consider Yuji the MC in his own story. That's why I'm so shocked by this take, because there are so many people that are like, well, like clearly like the main character is Yuta. Like clearly the main character is Gojo or whatever. We only follow Yuji for a little bit. But no, I can appreciate the take because I also very much enjoy Yuji. I think I would probably have Yuji somewhere at 7 for like my personal list, but I can really appreciate it um thematically, especially for you. I think that like that feels very you. And I can respect that. So no, that's a respectable list. It's very diverse. There's a lot of different genres of it. I guess it's all shown into it, except for I don't think Berserk's shonen, but it's largely,
It's another category. I completely forget what it's called.
yeah, yeah. But all right, my list is already published, so you largely know my list. But to go over it briefly, uh, Naruto is my number 5.
I couldn't do
Um,
it, dude. I couldn't do it.
I had to give Naruto his flowers, and the reason I had to give Naruto his flowers is he is genuinely a really good main character. Like, while I think Naruto, the story, has its flaws, Naruto has drip. Naruto has a lot of really solid moments. My one of my favorite moments in all of anime. It's why I really glaze this arc so much. Is Naruto's entrance in the pain arc. That moment for me is just genuinely one of the best moments in animanga, frankly.
That okay, I give you that. Naruto does have the drip.
I mean, he comes in with the red cloak and the toads and the music and the drums and all that stuff kind of happening all at once. It's really big and really great.
Barry on
It's
mode is
it's
trippy.
yes. Oh yeah, Baryon mode. I mean, his Sage of Six Paths stuff. All of that's great. And again, I don't like the war arc, but I can respect what like his vibe and his transformations and his techniques and all that stuff. I like it. I like his whole dude. OG Naruto, like the first series, really, really good. One of my favorite anime ever. If we're gonna isolate just OG Naruto, you got the Great Naruto Bridge and the Land of Waves, and you've got the Chunin exams and him, learning to not control, but summon Gamabunta and his trip with Jiraiya and all that stuff. It's really good. I like Naruto as a character, and I really respect how he influenced future anime manga. So I've got Naruto at 5. At 4 is a newer main character. He's climbing my rankings though, and I think with a good ending, he could end up in my top 3. With a good ending, it is Okarun from Dandadan. Now, I know there are going to be people that are going to hear that and be like, "That's insane. He's one of your top 5 main characters all time." Yeah, he absolutely is. You know why? Character development, dude. Character development. So many characters, like Spencer, you kind of
I
already
will say
said,
he is one of the best examples for like great character development.
yes, there are so many characters that they like when you're talking about Natsu, they find this lane and oh, this is the aggressive character, this is the angry character, this is the soft character, this is the gentle character, and they stick in that lane for most of the story. Sasuke comes to mind. He's edgy from episode 1, and he never deviates from that lane. He stays right there.
Hot take, I like Sasuke more
Okarun,
than Naruto. But
that's diabolical. But anyway, Okarun, what is so great about Okarun is from episode 1, he is so in his shell, so shy, so absorbed, and he literally only goes out on a limb because somebody shares a little bit of kindness for him. Then throughout the show, he has this massive group of friends who all care about him. He gets incredibly powerful, learns all kinds of techniques and abilities and powers, and he does all kinds of great things. He falls in love. And now, in the present arc that we're in, he's the one pushing the envelope for Momo. It's this massive turn of events where things started like this, now they're going like this. He's been down, he's been out, he's been up, he's been down, he's been all over the place. Okarun deserves more respect from anime fans as a main character. I get that Momo and him kind of share that title in Dandanan, but he's really becoming a great main character. And I think, again, if they stick the
Yeah,
landing on the ending, he could
I
be
don't want
great.
to go on the Dandadan glaze spree that we usually do, but
Peak.
I do think that he is one of the most underrated MCs along with Momo.
Peak. So
Their
good.
transformation from episode 1 and chapter 1 to what I don't even know what's currently going on, but I'll just say like the arc after what's been currently animated, they are.
Yeah.
I wish I could have put it.
Yep.
I should have put him in my top 5.
Yep. He's goaded, dude. Goaded. 3. I've got Aaron Yeager at number 3. And Spencer, much like you, my number 3, the reasoning behind this is I like the idea of the bad guy being the main character. Now, people that, again, don't understand Attack on Titan will argue that Eren is not the bad guy, that Eren is justified in doing what he does. And that's literally the antithesis of the point of Attack on Titan. I'm sorry that you feel that way, but you're wrong. Attack on Titan is a story about somebody who literally is a fallen hero. He is a character caught up in the circumstances of his world and is victimized and then victimizes. It's a cycle of violence and revenge story, and he exemplifies that perfectly. He literally is like the Lucifer of his universe. He's literally the devil of all mankind. He literally is just the peak of evil, but also the peak of like a fallen angel character. And it's what makes him so great. And whether he's manipulated by Ymir or if this is kind of just the way it always has to go isn't super relevant, because that kind of gets into like a cosmology kind of conversation, or like a religious, spiritual conversation where it's like, do we control our destinies, or do our destinies matter? There's like an element of nihilism there where it's like, well, did any of his decisions matter anyway? Like, do we matter? Do we go anywhere when we die? What's the value of human life? All those questions kind of get raised, and he kind of answers them during his conversation with Armin. And there's really this beautiful moment where he's like, I don't want Mikasa to move on. I want her to think about me and never move on. I don't want her to move on for at least, however long. Like, she has to be worried about me. It's this moment of like, oh yeah, this kid's like 18, like, and he's thrown away not just his life but millions of other lives, and it shows the consequences of violence and revenge and all those things. But more so impactful, I think, is there's no do-over with that, right? Like, we can talk until we're blue in the face about the implications of violence and the
Yeah.
cycle of revenge and all those things. But at the end of the day, it's like, well, one individual life is very important. Doesn't matter, if it's a billion lives or one life. Like, human life has value. And even him, like, in that moment, be like, I just want to like be in love and have a family, and like, I don't want her to forget about me. It's very like, oh, like, that was a human being, like a valuable life that could have been something totally different, that was destroyed by this
Yeah.
cycle of violence. I love that element of Aaron's character. And I think that he really deserves his flowers as a main character. He doesn't get them a lot because he's not, the super powerful Gokus and Naruto's and, whatever's, but he's a really well written character that I personally really, really like.
I think Attack on Titan does get its flowers.
Attack on Titan does. Aaron doesn't always.
I can see why.
Well, he's the villain. He's the
Yeah,
he's the
he is the
bad
villain.
guy.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same thing with Light, where
When you become anime Hitler, it kind of creates a taste in
yeah,
people's mouth.
yeah. Now, granted, there was a whole like generation of TikToks like a few years ago where people like before season 4 came out, where they were like doing the like dedicate your heart salute, and the music was playing, and it was like me showing up to defend the genocidal maniac that's the main character of
Oh
my
my
favorite anime.
god.
I'm like, yeah, Loki, I'm with you on that. Like, I don't know what I would have done. But yeah, I mean, Aaron's great. I love Aaron Yeager. Yurasa Sibaka, Aaron Yeager, but I still fuck with him. 2, Monkey
Who's
D.
your two?
Luffy.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Luffy.
I haven't.
Luffy. Yep.
Yeah.
So good. So again, we all know I'm a One Piece glazer. Peak fiction. It's a great story. 1,000+ chapters. He has so much not depth, because, and I almost like that about him. He's almost one-dimensional to a degree. He literally is just pure essence of like bottled joy and freedom, which is exactly what he needs to be in the confines of his own story. And he literally is the symbol of freedom for
Yeah.
not just his world, but our real world. Like he has transcended even his like dimension of influence into our own. And that's why Luffy, in my opinion, is one of the best MCs of all time. He has some great moments, great fights, great transformations. That's not what makes him a great MC. It's more so what he represents. Again, in verse and out of verse, there's just no getting around how important Luffy is, how impactful Luffy is. I think he's now at this point. I think he's the most iconic of the big three. I might have said Naruto maybe 5 or 6 years ago. It's definitively Luffy now. I don't think there's any room for debate.
I might have brought this up before in a previous episode, but I remember reading about a Harvard study that was done about One Piece and like the impact that it has on its fans and like what they learn from it. And I think over 50% of people said that like they learned more about friendship from Luffy as a character than like actual real life experiences.
Yeah, I've seen that too. Where a lot of people will. I saw a TikTok about it today, where it was like somebody was like, "Yeah, name someone that you want to keep living for," and it was a picture of Luffy. It's like, yeah, that's literally what his energy is about. That's exclusively what his energy is about. In
I think
fact,
he's truly like transcended into that like Spider-Man, Superman,
yes, absolutely,
worldwide phenomenon of a
yes,
character. And that's something that like even with me not even seeing One Piece all the way through or being at least halfway through, I do appreciate it.
yeah. He has. If Toei was to do like this would be the biggest move of all time. If let's say One Piece was coming to an end in 200 chapters, right? Like we know, like, hey, 3 years from now, 2 years from now, we'll be getting the last few chapters of One Piece, right? If we did that, and the culmination of the anime movie experience, in which we find out what the One Piece is,
I think that's going to
the
happen.
end of the story happens,
I think the
that
industry
would
is going to switch up.
that would transcend the medium, and that would transcend like by a wide margin the Demon Slayer movie. Like Toei, hit my line. This idea is really good. Hit me up. We can talk about the idea here, because I think if they did a full blown, like I'm talking 3 hour feature film anime presentation of the end of One Piece, there's your highest grossing anime movie of all time, guys. Right there. At one, my number one MC, the GOAT, came in, got everything he wanted, got the girl, got the job, achieved all his dreams, became a symbol. Presently, at the time of this recording, I don't know if there's going to be more content later, the number 4 hero in the world. It's my boy, Izuku Midoriya. The GOAT. The GOAT MC. I don't want to hear nothing about it. Your MC could never be Izuku Midoriya.
It really does take the entirety of that story, though.
I don't care, man. I don't care. Like Midoriya for me, dude. I hear. Number one, I disagree with you. Number one, I disagree. I'm gonna put that
I'll
out there
say this.
first.
I think I can agree with your Naruto take with him as a whole from like the beginning of original Naruto to the end of Shippuden. But if you were to just pick out like one episode at a time of Naruto, God, is he annoying sometimes.
Yeah, I think I
I
the
do
inverse
think
is
that
true
like
about Midoriya.
50% of the dialogue that comes out of Naruto half the time is, yeah, I'm going to be the Hokage. And that's it.
Yeah, Midoriya, I think, is the opposite of that, and that's why I love him so much. Is that you can pick out individual moments of Midoriya at random, largely too, and his character fluctuates as to who he is and what's important to him. And that's very real. With Naruto, that's not always the case. And again, I love Naruto. I just talked about him for 10 minutes about how much I love him. Midoriya, that fluctuates because he starts seeing the world in these different ways, and he starts thinking about what he wants in different ways. He starts off, I just want to be a hero. I want to be like All Might. I want to save people, right? And that is a very tangible thing to want, to want to help, to want to save, but it's also selfish to a degree. And that's implied heavily. Like that's kind of what he's after. He gets into UA, he gets all one for all. What does he immediately do? He actively, of his own volition, throws away his dream to help somebody else. Like first 3, 4, 5 episodes. I don't remember specifically what episode it is that he saves Uraraka from the giant robot. In the very beginning of the story, he does
I think
that.
it's like episode 3.
Yeah, it's literally like off the top. He's like, yeah, you know what? This hero thing's not really all it's cracked out to be. I do want to help people, and he saves Uraraka. Then we carry on a little bit further, right? We get past the training the when All Might fights the Nomu. What the hell is that place called? The JSW or something like that. Anyway,
yeah, JSW like training facility.
Something like that. Yeah, it's USJ, yeah, Universal Studios Japan. That's how I always remember it. USJ. After the USJ arc, like again, he changes a little bit more, where he's like, All Might is literally amazing. He's this dynamic force in the beyond my comprehension. I gotta get stronger. Training arc happens in the campground arc. He again transcends his limitations, and he wants to not just be a hero that helps, but a hero that inspires with Coda, right? And then it continues again, and his perspective changes. Then he wants to rescue Ari because he failed to rescue Ari. He rescues Ari, and he wants to be someone that can be a symbol, keep a smile on his face to show people it's okay. And then what happens with the Gentle Criminal arc? There's the school festival, and he continues that theme of like, I have to fight for somebody else's smile. That inspires Gentle Criminal, and Gentle Criminal acts like literally every step of the way, every arc, Midoriya does something that inspires somebody else to do better. So I never want to hear this like, oh, Ida, dude, literally the very first arc, he inspires All Might in the first arc. In the second arc, he inspires Ida. In the third arc, he inspires Todoroki. In the fourth arc, he inspires Koda. In the fifth arc, he inspires Eri. In the sixth arc, he inspires Gentle. And you can go on and on and on.
Do you think he inspires Mirio?
Yes, I do. I do. Mirio was going to be Mirio no matter what. But Mirio, I think, seeing the dedication in Midoriya gets a little juice, gets a little pop. You know, he knows who else is out there. And I think that's important sometimes, right? When you realize that there's somebody else out there as dedicated as you want to go a little harder, right? When you're working out in the gym with your boy, he hits a PR. I got to go a little harder now. When you see someone that matches your energy, it pushes you. And that happens to Mirio. It happened to All Might. Happened to All Might in one of the movies, right? Like it happened. You know, it's a constant theme with Midoriya: the surpassing of limitations, the inspiring of others, the being a symbol, the plus ultra. That's the whole thing with Midoriya, and he exemplifies that so much in the My Hero world. And by the end, really carries that torch. Like we want to talk about inspiring people. Think about what he does for Uraraka and how she carries that torch, even when Midoriya doesn't have powers anymore. Literally continues to do the work that she promised. Oh gosh, I'm so bad with names.
Yeah, dude. When it comes to like anime names, and if I haven't watched it like the day before, I don't remember.
It's crazy because she's a main villain. The girl with the blood power. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why I can't come up with her name. Yeah, I can't remember why I can't remember her name. But you know what I mean. She literally like makes the promise that she's gonna, establish, help for people with weirdo quirks, and she does. But who inspires her to do all those things? Midoriya. Midoriya tells her, like, or she tells Midoriya, you've inspired me. You're my hero. She has the whole speech on UA. Again, Midoriya, and in the end, right? You've seen the spoilers, so it's okay. He gets the girl.
Yeah.
He gets everything he wants. He's the GOAT. No other
GOAT.
MC. No other
Number one
MC.
hero. Gets
Nope.
the girl.
No other. He's not the number one hero yet. Which is why we need my hero Shippuden. Because he hasn't become the number one hero still. Because Mirio is the number one hero at the end. But again,
Wait.
yeah, Mirio is the number one hero.
In the intro of the show, doesn't he literally say, like, this is how I became the number one hero?
He says, "This is the story of how I became the world's greatest hero." That's a very intentional line.
Okay.
He doesn't say, "This is how I became the number one hero." This is how I became the world's greatest hero. That is a super important line. I'm not going to spoil that for you because it matters. That is the thesis statement of My Hero Academia. Because remember Stain? Stain's
Yeah.
all like, the heroes have gotten bloated and fat, and it's all corporate money greed. I'm here to put them back to the way they were, like All Might. And even Stain symbolizes or idolizes All Might, right? Because All Might isn't doing it for the money. He's not doing it for the prestige. All Might would live in a box down by the river if it meant that he could help one more person, right? That's what
Yeah,
All
Stain
Might's all
ends up
about.
literally helping All Might.
Yes, exactly. The idea of there being a number one hero, again, that's what Endeavor wants. Endeavor wants to be the number one hero. Endeavor wants the prestige. Endeavor wants the money. That's not the point of what being the number one hero is. And it's also not the point of what being the greatest hero is. And that's a very important distinction that's made. And it's the main theme of My Hero Academia. So keep watching because you'll catch up to that. But yeah,
Okay.
it's great. He gets the girl. He gets his dream job. He gets to be a hero. He gets to, dude, it's so great. He gets to, I won't spoil anything else because there are things that could theoretically be spoiled for you because you haven't read the rest. But he literally is he's the GOAT. No other MC from the jump is like, yeah, I want that girl. I want this job and I want it right now. And then gets it. No other MC does. Not even Naruto, who, like, again, gets to become Hokage, but like,
And also gets the girl in the end.
no, 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 no. He doesn't get Sakura. That's who he's after from the jump. He wants Sakura. Goes fine. That's how it ends. Guy call. Listen, as somebody who identifies with calling his shot, saw my future wife and was like, yeah, that one's mine. Like, I can identify with that. All right. Listen, Spencer. Not everybody can be as smooth as me and my boy Midoriya. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So look, I identify with Midoriya for that. But no, for real, like, no other main characters do that. No other main characters, like, from the jump, like, know what they want and then just go out and get it. Maybe Luffy, if it ends that way, it'll be like, oh yeah, Luffy was the Pirate King. I bet you it won't come the way he expects. I bet you there will be some weirdo things in there. Midoriya from the rip was like, look, I just want to be a hero. That's all I
Have you
want. And he got
seen what's going on
exactly that.
currently with
With
One Piece?
no. I'm
Okay.
trying to stay unspoiled because I have to catch up.
Got you.
That was a fun little thing there. Do the 5 protagonists. We'll do that
Yeah.
again soon. But listen, for the
I'll have
next
to
episode,
get my top 5 list on, like, what my actual, like, anime manga top 5 are.
I have my 5 here. What I'm gonna do is, now that I've said it, I need to, like, back it up. I'm gonna watch more of Black Clover. I was holding off on it because I was in the middle of I'm in the middle of Bleach, pretty much literally in the middle, or maybe in the first third, I would say, right at the end of the first third, so right before the middle point. Um, I'm actively reading One Piece still. I'm actively reading Dan. I'm actively reading JJK3 and Kyoshi. But I'm like, I could probably pick up Black Clover too. I'm going to try and get as much Black Clover in me as possible before next episode so I can speak
Real
more
quick,
eloquently on it. Because I think that's true what I said.
feel like we should get our thoughts out about, like, since we have kind of talked about JJK quite a bit within our pod, what are our current feelings on Medulla?
Oh, I've said
And
on
I know
TikTok
it's not
pretty
a lot
publicly.
very far in, but
Yeah, I've talked about it very publicly on TikTok that I find it odd as of right now, and that's all I'll say on that for right now. I don't want to
okay.
make any more judgments on JJK Medulla right now, purely because I don't see the direction it's going. I had someone very rudely be like, it's not hard to understand. And I wanted to be like, hey, dickhead, it's not that I don't understand it. I get what's happening, right? I see where the characters are positioned. I see what the have got going on. I get the subtext here. I understand. where are we going with this? How does this kind of relate to the original story? Is
Yeah.
it related? Is it a side story? Again, it's obviously related. These are the Akotsu children, like, or grandchildren rather. Like, obviously there's some kind of relation here. Where are we going with this? That's kind of where I'm at. So yeah, I'm liking it. I'm enjoying it, but I'm tentative as of right now. I'll leave it at that.
It does interest me. I think it's decent so far. It's not like exceptional or anything. Um, I do like the slight touch on Yuji and the slight touch on Doll Dude. I forget his name.
Toto?
No, Idol Transfiguration.
Oh,
Um,
Mahito.
yeah, Mahito. I do like the bits and pieces that they've dropped in so far, but I don't think that within the is it now 9 chapters that'll be
Something
released?
like that. Something like that. Yeah.
We don't have enough content yet to fully like flesh out those advancements.
Yeah. That's exactly where I am. Where I'm like, I don't really know where again the direction's kind of going, but I'm optimistic. And with that optimism comes like patience. I'm like, okay, let's let this guy cook for a minute and see what happens. But that's where I'm at with Medulo.
It's a nice little thing to keep me excited on JJK until season 3.
Which that's gonna be. I mean, we're what 4 weeks away from that happening, so that's gonna be great. By the way, I wanted to tell you, I know that I mentioned that I'm gonna read the new chapter of Dantadan. There is no new chapter of Dantadan this week. It's an off week, so I'm depressed.
Oof.
There's new Kyoshi though, and there is new JJK, and we have new Chainsaw Man in 10 hours. So pretty huge.
You fully caught up with that, right?
Oh, I've been up to date. I'm up to date on Chainsaw Man pretty concretely. Yeah, I've been up to date on that.
That
Chainsaw
I
Man, good.
eventually I'd have to fully read that because I hear it gets very, very,
It's
very
yeah,
good.
it's 219 chapters. It isn't too many. I read about that much of Bleach in like 2 weeks, so certainly doable.
Okay.
It's just a matter of do you want to commit to that over something else. Personally, I would urge you to read Bleach first, just because
Yeah, which is what I'll read first.
you're about to get another chapter of or a chapter. You're about to get another season of JJK.
Doesn't your
But
yeah?
there's so much that I want to watch right now. I really want to get caught up on Bleach so I can do Thousand Year Blood War. I need to get caught up on One Piece so I'm ready for if it ends in the near future. I really, now that I'm thinking about it, want to watch Black Clover. I still want to watch Free Ren. Like there'll be Hunter. I've promised some of my TikTok viewers that I want to watch. So like there's
That's a
so
whole
much on my
nother
plate right now. Yeah,
undergoing.
there's so much on my plate right now. But anyway, that's a podcast arc episode, 8 or 9, whatever it is. Please like, subscribe, comment, follow us on the socials, and interact with this video by telling us what are your 5 favorite anime protagonists. I would love to hear them.
And I would love
Good,
to
sir.
give my opinions on everybody else's.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Any comments to close this out, Spencer?
I think well, my hot take of the day: Sasuke better than Naruto.
I
I'll
hate
leave it at
that.
that.
I hate that. I hate that, and I hate you. Podcast arc. Later, guys.
Later.